Well, we got started here in Valle Chacabuco because we had come through here in the early 90s and really found this extraordinary place that had a lot of wildlife, but we could see that the wildlife was pushed up into the margins. We ended up buying it in 2004, and alarmingly, we had to buy it with all of the livestock intact. This was one of the 3 largest estancias in Chile. There were 25,000 sheep here and 4,000 cattle, and it was lambing season, so 6 weeks later we had 50,000 sheep. This was a conservation project that really got off with a bang because all of a sudden we were in the ranching business when in fact we're conservationists. We sold the sheep off over 3 or 4 years, and then we began to see these grasslands really begin to recuperate in many areas. Once the sheep were gone, we calculated the fence line that we had to take down, and it was over 400 miles of fence line. We were going to do it ourselves with employees, and then somebody had the idea to start a volunteer program. It turned out to be an incredible program that's still going on. And they have taken down all the fence lines. Just about 3/4 of it is gone now, all through volunteers from all over the world. So it's really added an incredible component to the project. This area had been the #1 conservation effort for 3 government agencies for over 30 years. And the reason is because it has every ecotone that's found in the entire Patagonia region. You're moving from the Pacific Ocean up over the northern ice cap, down to the Baca River that forms the western edge of this park. And then you have 25,000 acres of forest. And then as you move east, the Patagonia grasslands become more and more arid until you get up to the border, and then it drops very sharply off across Argentina and onto the Atlantic Ocean. And it also has all of its original species found in Patagonia. Foxes, huemul deer, puma, of course, very hard to see. It's not that everybody will arrive here and run out and see a puma, but they're here in healthy quantities. The guanacos, which you see here, are really a gift because when we first bought the estancia 10 years ago, you didn't see them. They were pushed up into the marginal lands by the people running sheep here. And then as the fences came down, the grazers, predominantly guanacos, came back down into the valleys. And then secondarily, they became so habituated to all of us. You see them out in front of the lodge eating the roses, and there used to be 60 million guanaco, and today they're probably 600,000 total. So they have sort of 1% of their original numbers. So you come here and you think, my God, this species is doing so well, and it is here. But overall, the species has been really hammered. It's just extraordinary to have all this in one place still. When we decided to take the land that we'd bought for conservation, and all 2 million acres would eventually go into the form of new national parks between Chile and Argentina. We really had 2 reasons to do this, and one of them was just to conserve and restore these lands, whether they're forests or grasslands or savanna or wetlands. But secondly, and equally important, is that people come to visit these places. You only really protect those things you love, and you can't love something unless you identify with it. And that's what happened to me when I came down to Patagonia. We're building campgrounds on the eastern edge and the center section of the park because we love the idea of people camping. And if people don't like to, they can go outside the park and stay in a neighboring area and then come back the next day.
There's now it's 1 camping area that is available, and you can come in and there's no problem, and they are working on 2 other camping areas. You also have the Chacabuco River, so you can go fly fishing, you can do some rafting or kayaking.
Forward paddle! Forward!
And just enjoy nature, yeah.
We think that linking campgrounds with long hikes, multi-day hikes, that's the best way to get to know a place. This is a big park. It's varied landscape, so we've been really concentrating on the creation of new trails. But the trails themselves are really beautiful, and they cover terrain that is absolutely exquisite.
This season we have 4 official trails. They go from 6 kilometers to 23 kilometers, depending on how fit you are, and if you are like really into hiking, you can go and do the big hikes. And if you are like a beginner or not too into hiking, you can do shorter hikes, and also you will see a lot of wildlife on the hikes. So it doesn't matter if you go like on the huge hike or on the short hike, you will have chances in both of seeing a lot of wildlife and different environments.
The Baca River, which forms the western edge of the park, is Chile's largest river. It has blue mineral waters that flow off the northern ice cap. And then the smaller Rio Chacabuco here has a real stark quality running through the valley, and then it drops into wetlands and then goes through forested areas. It really has a varied life before it gets to the Baca River. Most people who come here to visit us, they're terrified to drink the water. They don't even want to brush their teeth in it. But you can drink any of the water here, wherever it is. That's almost an extinct experience in North America. So we have 200,000 acres here with almost no one in it. And working here and watching the wildlife come back, people will be able to come here and go hiking, and they're not going to run into a lot of people. And that is an amazing experience. It's a little hard for us to sort of give up that solitude that we've had here. But at the same time, we're very, very pleased that people will come and have those experiences or close to what we had.